Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. Having recruited the student leader, Kalinov, our movement is looking to once again claw back its ground. Times remain tough, but our campaign remains constant. We are striking at our enemies with a strength unseen for a long time. We're gaining more points. We're doing all that we can to guarantee the victory of our movement. We're going to pull out all the stops in the name of this campaign. We're going to continue investigating the areas around us. We're going to continue denouncing and striking against our enemies wherever they may manifest themselves. We are going to bring the NPRM towards new heights of victory, of prosperity and success. We're going to throw out our enemies, no matter who they are. On an unrelated note, I've lost my voice and spilt a large quantity of water on my computer. Not that it matters. So long as it doesn't go through, things will remain quite fine. I do, however, believe that I will have to temporarily suspend the video while I go and fix things. Following that short cut, which I hope that nobody noticed, I've resolved most of the general problems. I don't have my voice back properly yet, but that's going to take a lot longer than this. Until then, we're going to continue our relentless campaign to vanquish these renegades from the cartel and from the ranks of the anarchists. No ground will be yielded to these opportunist elements who take advantage of a supposed anti-government position, when in fact, I dare to say that they're the controlled opposition. They're serving the regime of Mr. Karasov with even greater slavishness, or slavishness, or however that word may be said, be it in the context of Slav or slave. They are serving him with even more slavishness than his own civil servants and supporters. The fact that they are doing so much against our movement is very manifest proof of this. Meanwhile, it seems like we're going to lose Ikamov quite soon. I don't mind too much though. He had a good run, but at this point he's outlived his use, or outlasted it, or whatever. Outlived would be a far bleaker, far more morbid way to say it. Anyhow, our movement is basically subsisting off of scraps right now. We're falling, we're collapsing. Situation remains bleak as can be. And that's a very true observation. If only I could find this action of the cartel. This nefarious takeover which supposedly took place. I can't see it. Can anybody else? Anyhow, we need to actually get something done. I wanted to form a charitable trust, but it seems like it isn't working so far. Perhaps we could go for a business empire, although I don't think we have any person with a sound business sense in this movement. It all looks very bleak. It all looks very hopeless. We've reached day 100, however. It's our jubilee. We've actually regained points and regained resolve since the last rankings. Our resolve is almost equal to that of the anarchists, and our points are increasing once more, while we leave those motherfuckers of the Red Mafia in the dust. We've temporarily picked ourselves back up from the ground. And it's our responsibility to guarantee that this is not only temporary, but rather that it will last for a long, long time. We've got to make ourselves heard before that, though. We've got to strike at the cartel, take advantage of their shortcomings, and do all that is within our ability to weaken them. To weaken them and to overcome them. I'm gonna continue to send Kalinov on poster routes to see if we can get his points up. We need him to level up. As well as this, we need to gain more ground for the NPRM. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to call it a day and abandon everything. And I don't want to do that yet. Soon, but not yet. Now I hope that all of you, my fans, are okay with this series being as long as it is. And of course as boring as it is. It picked up for a moment, but at this point it's just terrible. It really is. Even I'm admitting it. It's all just an endless back and forth, back and forth. Why can't we gain ground? Why can't we gain supremacy? Why can we not defeat the enemies of our movement and the enemies of our righteous and glorious cause? That's the question. That's the simple question that decides the fate of the NPRM. Will we win or will we lose? And I don't know the answer. We're just hurtling through space right here. We have no idea what's going on. We have no idea what to do, how to do it. All we can do is watch as our movement collapses. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to speak a little more softly and act a little less brashly. We're going to take this slowly. We're going to strike at our enemies. We're going to undermine them wherever they may manifest themselves, as I've noted before. We're going to have to be merciless in our advance. We're going to have to strike against the cartel, against the anarchists, against absolutely everybody who may pose a threat. No one shall be safe from the masterful advance of the NPRM. Because we are going to witness the rebirth of Novistrana, whether the haters like it or not. We're going to achieve a very majestic, a very successful, a very truly glorious advance, and a revolutionary victory. The upswing is just around the corner, and I am more than sure of this. By the way, let me know in the comments section if you prefer this calmer tone of voice, softer, smoother, to the one that I usually use in this series. I personally prefer it since it calms me down a little, despite the fact that the NPRM is sagging. Sagging like a metaphor or a simile that I prefer not to use on this channel. We're losing ground, even though things are slowly becoming better. They are nowhere near to good. They are nowhere near to tolerable, although we have won a good victory in our recapturing of the Grand Hotel, meaning that we have gained extra points. Now, if only we could strengthen Mr. Ikramov's activities, if we could strengthen, perhaps, his resolve, that would be nice. His scouting action is quite useless. We can go for the graffiti. I think we'll go for the graffiti, come to think of it. We've got no other major option. And so, graffiti it is. Baturin is slowly losing resolve, although it's slow enough for it not to matter yet. The main problem right now is Comrade Ikramov's crisis of fate. Another quite obvious problem is the fact that we're in a situation where we're falling back on all fronts, although we have regained the Udalsva precinct. We're making an effort to retake Potemkin Plaza, and of course Viesnin town, or whatever the place, Natanson town. We're regaining our old stomping grounds, we're regaining our points, we're expanding our movement. Things are slowly returning to normal, although the very fact that we cannot rely on Mr. Ikramov's loyalty is what really puts fear into me. I mean, if push comes to shove, we can just tell him to go fuck himself. We're going to look for someone else, for example, perhaps a businessman, perhaps the editor, Felix Lavanov, of nobody knows whose newspaper. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. We do, however, need to gain 5 influence districts, of which we currently control approximately 3. We're working on the 4th one, but the anarchists have a very, very strong presence in the 5th one. And actually the 4th one as well. Or the 6th one. My mathematical skills are completely gone. This is the truth. And now we're starting to witness Mr. Ikramov's activities failing from a lack of resolve. Isn't that just sad? Isn't it just terrible? I'm not sure if I want to empower Mr. Ikramov, since chances are that it'll backfire and lead to Kalinov losing his resolve as well. Cartel's in more shit as always. That's nice to see. What I amn't especially happy to see, however, is the fact that the anarchists remain strong, and the cartel continues to hold ground in Vesnin, in Laika, and in another number of places. I am, however, quite glad to witness the fact that the anarchists and the mafia and the cartel are all fighting one another instead of me. Now, Comrade Ikramov is getting ready to leave the movement. Well, I'd personally want to say good riddance. Fuck him. We don't need him. We didn't need him from the very beginning. He's a terrible, unrighteous son of a bitch. And we have no need for his kind here. It's a pity that we haven't found more people to recruit into our movement, as our own stats remain hideously low due to a lack of resolve. We'll wait until Ikramov leaves the movement before we try recruiting Mr. Lavanov. Lavanov is our last resort. He's basically the dirty tactics that we don't want to use but might be forced to use at some point. Yeah, Ikramov is about to leave the movement. That much is something that I don't even have to doubt. We're going to wave goodbye to him extremely soon. But first, we're going to go after the anarchists and strike back at them. We're going to teach these anarchists a thing or two about political campaigning. We're also going to go out on some more scouting activities, and Kalinov is already leaking resolve like a motherfucking sponge. Well, isn't that just beautiful? Movement is on very shaky ground. We're basically falling apart at the seams. We're doing anything but the right thing. So how about we go after an anarchist representative and catch him off guard. We'll discredit him. Perhaps this man might enjoy doing so. Let's see, what are the headlines? Constantino cartel continuing their criminal activities as they do. Our movement generally collapsing as it does. Nothing new in the news. We'll send Comrade Ikramov for one more foray into the striking world. We'll get him to rally the workers behind our cause one last time, as we prepare to lose him to the abyss, essentially. He isn't going anywhere. He's just going to sit around, drink vodka, watch daytime television, yell at kids and so on. He's not going to have a life after he leaves the NPRM. Not a dignified one anyway. Because there's two options. It's either that or becoming a revolutionary hero in the near future. Because looking at the power screen, you can see that we've regained all of our ground, or at least the vast majority of it. We've overtaken the cartel, we've overtaken the anarchists and the mafia. We control almost half of the city, however our resolve remains ridiculously low. The reason for this is something that I just can't decipher. It's something that I won't even bother deciphering since it's pointless. We're going to have to make a desperate last grasp for these areas. We need to attack the anarchist areas, the anarchist bases, and to pry them out of the anarchist hands. There's no other option, really. No other option but completely and utterly collapsing in the face of this adversity. And I won't accept that. Not yet. Not in this episode anyway. But that's mostly because I'm going to be ending this episode right here and right now. If you're enjoying the series, do not forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel. Perhaps even consider writing a letter to Mr. Ikramov telling him that he'll regret leaving the NPRM. I've been the Nerd Gamer, and I will see you all in the very next episode of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for today.